Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Mom Nur Shafa is a lecturer of the subject and all of my beloved friends. Okay, we are from 9 group and we would like to present about the Head and Modifiers revisited. Before I begin with my presentation, let me introduce my members. For the first is me, Ulfa Sofiatul C as a moderator, and the second is Muhammad Akmali and Nabila Farkha L. Okay, let's make a review first about the head and modifiers. Okay, for the first is about for and against verb phrases. Okay, in this short chapter, we pick up additional topics to do with dependency relations and constituent structures. The outcome of our earlier discussion was that every phrase has a central word which control the other word, phrases, and even clauses that occur in it. Okay, and the central word is the head, and the other word and phrases are its modifiers. For this explanation, which typically occur next to their head, such phrases move around together. For these phrases can be replaced by a single word and can be ellipsed. Okay, let's talk about the first example. Is the Ethel that we knew and loved has left. Just pack her bags and walk out. Okay. For this example, as a proper noun, Ethel typically doesn't allow the definite article the, and the proper noun to allow definite articles, however, provided they are also modified by a relative clause. Okay, for this example, presumably the speaker who utters in the first sentence, that is the Ethel, is thinking of Ethel not a single individual but as a bundle of individual or personnel who appear and disappear depending on situation. Okay, let's move to the second example. That is Norman Lemming jumped off the cliff and William Lemming did so too. Okay, for this second example, did so indeed substitute for jump off the cliff, but words are involved. And it seems clear that the verb did substitutes for jump and that so substitutes for the complements of jump. Okay, for this example, is the sort of example that turns out in discussion of American linguistics, but it is not the normal construction in British English. Okay, go on to the third example. The sentence is Emma insult Miss Bates and annoy Mr. Knightley. Okay, for the example can be analyzed as having a subject-noun phrase, that is Emma, and two phrases, verb phrases connected by "and." That is, the sentence is insult Miss Page and annoy Mr. Knightley. Okay, there are, however, alternative analysis that treat the subject verb phrases as clause or subject-noun phrase has been ellipsed, and other analyses try to handle conjunction in terms of head and their dependence modifiers rather than in terms.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Akmali. I'm from PBI. In here, I will explanation about verb, core, nucleus, and prefix. Okay, clause are analyzed as having a nucleus and a prefix. The nucleus contains the verb and its complement. Complement is contain subject, direct object, indirect object, and obligation object or adverb of direction. The prefix contains of obligation object, which are adverb of time, adverb of location, and some types of adverb. Adverb are very large and heterogeneous class, and it's at last contraction, the middle contraction, or adverb of manner seem to be obligation with some verb. Okay, for example, there is a descendant. Her new book reads well is quite acceptable, but her new books read is not acceptable. Okay. Next, the speed between nucleus and the periphery is sometimes replaced by a three-way speed between core, nucleus, and periphery. The core of clause is the verb, and the nucleus is the verb plus the complement. Described verb. The periphery is also a described verb. The core position of verb in clause comes from language in which a clause can consist of a single verb. The example for Latin sentence. The first I big general. The means in English they fake. In grammar to mean there was like them. B to not. In English to not is to mean thunder. Grammar this was thunder. Okay. The second from Turkish. Konu symbol konu sulmes is one word. The means unspoken or in grammatical no speaking. The third Lithuania from Africa. Aligoba is one word. The means Aligoba is she will chase it. Chase in here, chicken. Eat in here, chicken. Okay, the explanation. The Latin clause in 1a consists of the verb signature. This verb is passive, while it may be thought that subject noun phrase has been ellipsed. It is difficult to know what the noun phrase may be. The same with number one and number two passive verb. The Lithuania verb in the number three is active. No independent noun phrase are needed because its context the person doing the chasing and the bird being chased are fear of to the ear. Okay, the clearly example there is a bagan. Okay, bagan. There is a core argument and periphery jam. Okay, the example sentence. My sister hit me hard on the head. In here, my sister and me become score argument. The hit is clause. Her and on the hand is a periphery jam. Okay. Enough for me. The next material will be bring by next my friend. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nabila Farkha L, the member of the 9th group, English syntax on 5th grade B. I will explain about head of a noun phrase. The head is the main part of the noun phrase, and the head gets modified by the other part, which is usually noun. Jadi head itu bagian utama dari noun phrase dan biasanya head dapat dimodifikasi oleh noun phrase. Contoh dari head yang berupa noun itu ada the sun, the-nya itu article, and sun itu head. And in noun phrase, the head is a noun or pronoun. For example, a tiny sandwich. In an adjective phrase, the head is an adjective. For example, completely inadequate. And for the last, in an adverb phrase, the head is an adverb. For example, is quiet clearly. Dan kata benda itu sendiri sebagai head Kata benda itu mengendalikan konstituen lain dalam frase kata benda, tetapi tetap ada masalah tertentu yang mempengaruhi frase kata benda tersebut. Contohnya yang pertama ada verb modifiers occur in the same slot. Jadi kata kerja atau kata kerja dan perubahannya terjadi dalam slot yang sama dalam klausa. For example, Harriet swooned and Harriet admired Mr. Knightley. And example number 2, there is a preposition and its complement occur in the same slot. For example, Willoughby ran up to where he had seen Marian and Margaret, and Willoughby ran up the hill to where he had seen Marian and Margaret. Di sini menunjukkan preposisi atau preposisi pelengkapnya terjadi di slot yang sama. Dan contoh yang nomor 3 yaitu adjective and its modifier occur in the same slot. Itu menunjukkan bahwa kata sifat atau kata sifat dan pengubahnya muncul di slot yang sama, baik sebagai pelengkap is atau modifikasi kata benda. Contohnya, the book is boring, the book is astonishingly boring, and the boring book, the astonishingly boring book. And we go to the other example. Example number 4, there is a noun phrase followed by a phrase. For example, Errol wishes to ask you some awkward questions. And the Errol we all know and love wishes to ask you some awkward questions. Errol with the in-your-face turn of phrase wishes to ask you some awkward questions. Jadi contoh ini memberitahu kita tentang frasa kata benda yang muncul diikuti dengan frasa seperti ingin menanyakan beberapa pertanyaan canggung, memperkenalkan cara teknis untuk meletakkannya. Ahli bahasa berbicara tentang kata-kata frase yang terjadi dalam bingkai atau lingkungan. Di sini ada keinginan untuk mengajukan beberapa pertanyaan canggung dan head-nya itu adalah Ethel sendiri. Di contoh pertama, Errol wishes to ask you some awkward questions. Atau yang contoh kedua, the Errol we all know and love wishes to ask you some awkward questions. Dibahas di atas di mana Ethel itu dimodifikasi oleh artikel tertentu dan klausa relatif. Dan untuk contoh terakhir di nomor 4 ada Errol with the in your face turn of a phrase wishes to ask you some awkward questions. Errol itu tidak dimodifikasi oleh artikel tertentu tapi hanya oleh prepositional phrases. Dan untuk contoh yang selanjutnya, there is a distribution plural nouns as any phrases. For example, golfers can be good company. Enthusiastic golfers with large handicaps can be good company. And these enthusiastic golfers that are made at 19th hole can't be good company. In this example, can be good company, we find golfers on its own, as in the first example, golfers can be good company, and we found enthusiastic golfers with large handicaps, and that is the head noun modified by an adjective and its prepositional phrases. And the third example on number 5, there is the head noun golfers modified by demonstrative tense and a relative clause. Analogous examples can be produced for singular mass nouns such as a saint and flower. And the last example, there is a singular count noun requires an article or demonstrative. For example, golfer has a pretty powerful swing. The or this or a golfer has a pretty powerful swing, and the or a golfer who is in training has a pretty powerful swing. And the last example, there is a golfer who is in training has a pretty powerful swing. In this example, many analysts have responded to the above pattern of distribution by suggesting that what we have been calling noun phrase do not have nouns as their heads. Instead, they propose that the determiner is the head and the and that the phrases should be called determinant phrases. Jadi di sini tidak memiliki kata benda sebagai head, tetapi mereka memiliki frasa penentu sebagai headnya. Frasa yang mengandung proper nouns atau plural nouns atau singular mass nouns harus dianalisis sebagai frasa penentu yang mengandung penentu yang terjadi menjadi nol. Pendekatan ini membuatnya menarik untuk mengenali dua jenis head, yaitu kepala sintaksis yang mengontrol distribusi frasa dan menentukan jenisnya. Ada penentu, kata sifat, frase, preposisional, dan lain-lain. Dan ada kepala semantik yang mengontrol jenis, pelengkap, dan kata sifat yang terjadi. Dalam contoh ini, the fact remains that dependency relations are central to syntactic structure. I think enough for me. I apologize if my group makes some mistakes. Hope you guys understand this material. I hope we deliver the materials well. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.